Let's see if we can get up.
Pledge allegiance to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's about damn refreshing when people do that still. Quite nice.
Could turn that heat down a little bit.
Yeah. You got lots of heat.
Got lots of heater in there now. Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Visitors comment. Jeremiah Moyer.
Well, I put,
Or did you put somebody else on first?
well, I put, Adma down.
He's
But
down
since
here.
you don't want to stick around for very long, do you?
Not really, but yeah, I mean, whatever we gotta do.
So,
You want me, I can,
if you don't mind going first.
yeah, I'll go first. So, we've been working on the building next door to kind of figure out why it does not heat the way it should. We've done a couple service calls to visit to see what's going on. The main thing that I see in there is that at first we thought the system was leaking. Found out it was leaking. It was leaking at the manifolds where the connections come up into the radiant floor. Had my brother out on a trip. We took all of them apart, pressure tested to make sure nothing was leaking there. There's currently no antifreeze in the system. It's just straight water. So it's sealed, it's good. The engineering side of it, from what I can tell on the boiler and the radiant system, it works as it should. I don't see any problems on that side, but the problems that is with the building, why the system does not work. Your current square footage of the building is 4,992 square feet, roughly 5,000 square feet. The boiler BTU is 285,000 BTUs, giving you an output from efficiency is 264,000. That's what the maximum BTUs you can get out of that boiler is. With 5,000 square feet, the maximum BTUs you can get per square foot out of radiant floor is 35 BTUs per square foot. Comes out to 174,000 BTUs. The current building heat loss requires 192 as of right now, the way the building is. And the reason that is so high is when they constructed the building, it was not done according to some of the print here. When the slab is poured, there's an insulation barrier on the inside of the footer that comes up and is supposed to come to the top of the pad on the inside of the wall. We chipped out the concrete and it's 3 inches shy from the top of the pad, so you're getting 3 inches of bleeding that goes out into away from the building. Plus there's the building was supposed to come down the walls flush with the pad, and there's a course or two of block right there that's not insulated at all. So you have approximately 400 square feet that bleeds straight outside. So you need, with that being said, that's where that almost 200,000 BTUs is needed, and the floor only produces 174. So you can't keep up in the cold months. That's why it's not keeping up. The floor is maxed out what it can do. Now, if you take away, if that was insulated and the pad came up, you'd be darn close to that system keeping up. But the biggest thing that I see in there is you guys are pulling cold trucks in. You got cold cinders in, you got to heat them, and that doesn't even include that heat loss that you need to keep up with that. Plus, you're pulling in a snowy, icy truck. The ice drops down the floor. Now the system has to work harder to evaporate that water, the salt. That all plays into a factor of it. Now, I'm not an engineer. I mean, I got 20 years in business and gone to school for it, but there is. I mean, if you guys wanted to take this farther and get an HVAC engineer to do this, you can do that. But the building will not keep up. the way it is with the current heating system.
Yeah, we already know that.
Yeah, and you know that. But this
Right.
gives you some numbers of why it's not,
Right.
you know. And this is a right soft program right from HVAC ASHRAE standards. So I brought to recommendations. I've seen in a lot of township buildings up in Troy, or Armenia is one of them. They've got a botched radiant system up there. Their system's just bad. But they put the Modine hanging heaters in. They're calling them a unit heater. Now we talked at one time, thought about tying something off that boiler.
Not big enough then, right?
What's that?
So the boiler's not
It's
big.
not big enough. You're gonna get another 50,000. So I did bring a quote today for 2 hanging heaters. I mean, we gotta run gas line, you gotta run electric, you gotta run thermostat, you gotta run all that. I recommended 2 heaters. You can either place them one on each on the back wall, or you can put one on the side walls, you know, and blow one way or the other. They'll blow like 67 feet at like 18 feet in the air out across there. Now, I talked to some of the township guys, and they probably only kind of cater to the one side more than the back wall is more for storage. So right when you walk in there, I'd probably hang 2 and blow them down towards the end with the thermostats below them. And then you would have a separate system. So if the boiler system went down, you'd have the 2 hanging heaters. I sized the 2 hanging heaters. They're 250,000 BTUs each, but it gives you a total of 400,000 because you got to vent them to the outside. You're going to lose some.
Well, that was my question. How efficient are they? What?
They're 84% efficiency is what you're looking at. You know, you can go high efficiency, but I don't think the cost is worth it in the long run. You know, for gaining another 5% of efficiency. You know, so these are quite simple. A lot of township buildings has them. Sullivan Township, we put a couple in for them. In some of their old buildings. You know, it's a good old reliable heater. You know, I'm sure probably there's guys around here that have them in their garages. You know, it's they call them a hot dog.
That's
You know,
what I have in my garage.
yeah, it's similar to that. It's just a larger commercial style unit heater.
That was something like we had before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Something
you know.
like that.
And what's nice too is having those is when you open your doors and stuff, these will kick on. You know, cool that air down and allows the floor to recover. You know, Radiant's a great system. I mean, I put a lot of Radiant in, and you know, usually it's the problem with Radiant is usually installation. You know,
So it was leaking at the manifolds, not in the floor.
not in
at
the
all.
floor. The floor is
Okay.
fine. Yeah.
Okay.
So the floor's fine. The boiler's fine. I don't see any issues there. It was installed per the plans.
That
You know,
was.
That was.
But
you know.
Well, the blocks
Blocking
were an after thing, right?
Yeah.
Something to do with the
He
doors.
messed up somehow.
Somehow he had to put 2 layers of blocks.
Yeah, so 2 course of block not being insulated is I mean, it makes a big difference, you know. Plus you're bleeding all the, I mean, it's the heat's driving right out. I mean, you guys can see it when it snows probably.
Yeah,
you know.
Spray foam that block, that help.
You could spray foam that block or run something up against that. That would help drastically. Yeah. I mean, it's almost like a good 20,000 BTUs you're losing right out
Yeah,
there.
because it melts the snow around the outside of the building.
Yeah. Yeah. And some say, oh, that's great. I don't have any snow around the building. Yeah, but it don't keep up with the
It's
building.
not really
That's the
efficient
problem.
though.
Yeah. You know, and the biggest thing I see is when trucks pull in. You know, you pull a snowy truck in, yeah, they do have heat from the engine, but you still got to cool it up. You still got to, you know, heat them back up. So, so 2 unit heaters, I got an estimate here. It's $19,254 to install 2 heaters. And we can work with that too. They do make, like, you can do 1 large heater. They make them up to 400,000 BTUs. You know,
Probably be smarter to do 2. If one quits, the other one.
well, that's kind of redundancy with the township. The last thing you need is on a snowy day something to die or fail, and you don't have anything. You know, I mean. And I've just brought just a little notes. You guys can have this folder where we chipped out the concrete. You can see a tape measure where we measured down. That's where the foam is. In that room.
Okay.
And then I brought the 2 invoices we've had that are paid for the, you know, what we did, you know, kind of like some of the diagnosing and stuff like that. So, yeah, you guys are welcome to all this. I even attached a right saw load sizing form, and it's just a summary of what the BTUs were needed.
And how good is this, how long is this quote good for?
I usually do 15 days, but typically you get a couple months out of it, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But I don't know what tariffs are doing, so
Gotcha.
they're sending, a lot of the supply houses are sending tariff notices out, stuff's gonna start increasing, so. So there's that, you can have that.
And even insulating the block and putting the heaters in, that would be a bonus,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk it over and decide.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't really need these. I mean, I have a, so you guys want these back. I figured you probably want them. Definitely don't get rid of them. They're handy to have, so. But you can see, I don't know if you want me to show you in here where, do you want me to show you where it was, where the installation part is that?
We know where it was supposed to be. Is that
Okay.
what you're trying to show?
Yeah, because they have it right, listed right in here, how it's supposed to be,
Then it's not.
but it's not.
Well, who do you blame for that? Whoever put the floor in, right?
Yeah, whoever did the insulation part of it, bringing it up to the wall, and then of course the blocks, of course, is not a good thing either. You know. I mean, whoever did the foam, I mean, it lists everything that needs to be done in here, and the prints are a little. They don't give you 100% detail either on a lot of stuff. Like I would expected a heat loss load from the engineer when they did it, but you can see right here where here's the top of your floor. They went up 2 course of block here. Them steel posts are supposed to be level with the floor, and then the insulation, they actually taper it up for a vapor barrier, so you don't even have a full vapor barrier because you're going to drive moisture through that block coming in. Yeah, so that's where you're looking at. That's that section there. So, yeah.
No.
So there you have it. That's probably the biggest part there. But the sizing is, I don't think anybody ever sized for the internal loads for the trucks and stuff. So, you know, I'm not so sure even with it fixing that. I mean, that's definitely going to help, but I'm not
It
so
won't
sure.
take care of the problem.
I don't think it's going to take care of the 100% of the problem.
Right.
So,
Probably the engineer was part of that's his fault.
yeah, the engineers won't ever own up to it, though. I can tell you that. I've been down that.
I know what we paid them.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know. Well,
Rich said he tried telling him that floor heat wouldn't do it. Oh yeah, it would.
Yeah. No, I won't. No. No, you usually got to have something a little more. I mean, the floor's great because you're gonna, you know, keeping the floors dry and stuff. I would have done it regardless, but it needed to have some more unit hang.
We could build such a high ceiling so they could dump the boxes up.
Yeah, and that's a good idea, you know. Yeah. So, any questions for me?
no, I guess not.
Not at the moment, but we know how to get a hold of you if
Yeah.
you need.
Yeah, so that'll work. So if you don't need me, I can just
Yep.
go on out of here.
Well, thank you.
Yes, thank
All right, no
you.
problem. You guys have a good
Thank
night.
Okay, Jeremiah.
Just here, I know RES is here, Mavis. It's just a couple questions about the facility. What's been going on, the problems that a lot of the neighbors have been having, specifically well water issues now, mainly sediment. Rat infestation in the entire area now since the cleanup of the old hay and everything else around the barn. And also wondering why there's no caps on those tanks. Along with several other questions as we go.
First question is caps were not required.
And what about anything that blows off that into my pasture, into my livestock? We've already lost $7,000 worth of livestock since all this started, and we haven't lost anything before.
Wow.
There hasn't been more than 20 inches of water in a 30-foot tank. So I can't imagine that anything is blown off from that height.
Not yet.
Well, you're accusing us of killing your livestock.
Well, and mainly it came from the rat infestation. They're crapping and pissing in all of our feed troughs, water troughs. It's a constant cleaning process that we spend a half hour a day doing just to make sure they're not going to get sick or die yet again. I mean, dogs are killing one every other day. We saw 3 more just run right across through the creek today. They're on our property and run right into the barn. While the dogs were out with the animals today. It's a constant ongoing thing. I mean, like I said, damn rat last night was big enough to actually tore a hole in the side of the dog's mouth when she went after it. We haven't had that problem until this project started and everything started getting cleaned up and moved. Now I got the water sitting in our well water. Our house was literally shaking the entire time. They were vibratory rolling at 2,600 plus a week bill. It's a $15,000 to $20,000 system to take care of that. I actually have a barrel out in the barn every month. It collects a ½ inch of sediment in the bottom. I did that just to keep it from going out to the animals. Didn't have these problems before. Maybe it was just me. Okay, maybe the casing's not deep enough, but a lot of the neighbors have issues. Unfortunately, some of them couldn't make it here tonight to talk about it. It's a lot. You got that.
Well, I thank you for jobs that you guys provide, by the way. I'm sure that's appreciated for Canton. The concern that I would have is property values for one. As a mortgage broker, putting in something like that doesn't really affect my husband and I's property because we're a little bit removed from it. But the folks next to it, they have a lot of concerns about their property values. And I guess our neighbor Della, who's kind of right up next to it, she was feeling under the weather, but she wanted us to please bring up the noise to see if maybe there's something that maybe could be done, like maybe a windbreak or some trees or something. I don't know if that's something you guys could do, but she wanted to ask.
Which side of the property?
She's a little green barn looking house.
Okay.
So you guys are here, and I think she's over here towards the front. But she just wanted me to bring up if you could do maybe a wall or some trees or something. Because it's a bit noisy for her.
Or that could be a natural landscape.
Yeah, well, I don't think she cares so much what it is, but whatever you guys could come up with would be appreciated because I guess it gets a little bit noisy for her. Trucks coming in and out. So that's all I had to say.
I got one thing on that too. Is there a way to do like no jake braking signs out there?
So we have no jake brakes on our facility. Unfortunately, we can't enforce a no jake brake on 14. It's a state road. That's a PennDOT issue.
Okay.
And if me personally, I had a guy come in the other night with his jake brake on, come down through, and I reminded him, hey,
Yeah.
you can't be doing that.
That's
Well, I mean, I hear
there's
we
been-
posted signs
All right.
for all of them to not utilize that engine.
Just curious.
I
I
hear
mean,
a
you
lot.
come around that corner anyways, you know, ain't no reason to be doing 55 to slow down in there. You're already coming from Grover side, you slow down for that corner, and Canton side coming in, you should be slowed down anyway.
Pretty much every day, we can guarantee we hear one jake breaking. It's like, oh, is that the log truck or is that the sawdust truck? And
Right.
it's flying past that facility.
I know you're not gonna stop everybody, I get that, but the added traffic from water trucks will be.
Is there
Appreciate
any
it. Slow that down.
contingency plans that you guys have too for like if you guys have any sort of leaks? What kind of contingencies do you guys have to compensate the folks that are next to you? In case, because we've had our, the water's tested and whatnot. But if there is a leak and something happens, do you guys have a plan in place of extra insurance to help those folks?
We have a state approved PTC plan, which is spill prevention
Sure.
contingency plan.
And then,
and then we're bonded through the state.
so they will compensate folks that are proven to be affected if something were to happen?
That's a state question, like how they utilize the bond.
Is there anybody here that can tell me who the person was that gave him a permit to build an 8-acre leach bed 150 feet away from my house? Do anybody know who that person was? Nobody. Who gave you the permit?
The state?
Huh?
The state?
The state. Which person signed the permit for that?
The Department of Environmental Protection signed the permit.
What about your initial permit where you said it was gonna just be a freshwater pond?
You know, this thing is 150 feet away from my house.
Ever hear of the Sierra Foundation? They found it. The initial permit that was applied for was a freshwater pond, which is what your father and I had actually discussed when you were interested in the 8 acres for the fresh water coming off of to help fill that pond. And you backed out about 4 months later because it didn't suit your needs anymore. And then we got 2 500,000 gallon tanks sitting there. How are they going to stop from exploding at the bottom?
They're putting water, what do you mean exploding at the bottom?
Well, who's a farmer in here? Anybody? How do you build a silo?
Creates pressure on the bottom, water does, right?
How do you build a silo? The extra rings around the bottom to help hold that pressure from all the weight?
Yeah, on the book, extra books.
Right. Take a drive by it, where the hoop's at. On the top, not the bottom. Somebody built the damn things upside down.
That's your opinion?
Okay. Well, it's everybody's opinion. I mean, we got farmers in here experienced in that. I helped build silos like that. And to see that is just completely backwards. There's nothing to help stabilize that bottom. Grain silos, silage, everything. I mean, that water, rough water, is clean water is 8.8 pounds per gallon. 500,000. At 9, dirt, whatever, we're talking 4.3 million pounds pressure. And that's going to contain all that?
Yes.
100% guaranteed. You would
It's
stake
designed to do.
the company's life on that, basically?
It's what the design is to do.
You didn't answer my question yet. You know who the guy is that gave him the permit? The state. It could be 1,000 people.
It's the waste management department in the state.
Well, I don't understand how they possibly can give him a permit to build something like that 100 feet away from 2 streams that both run into Twana creeks and eventually into the Susquehanna River. How in the hell can they give him a permit? You know what I call that outfit? An 8-acre leach bed. I watched step by step how this thing was built. And I'm telling you, it might not leak today, might not leak next year. I got something which is going to leak, and it's going to leak bad. And as far as the rest of this meeting, I can't understand a word anybody says. Adios.
What exactly is this water that's being pumped into the tanks? Is it gray water,
It's production brine from gas wells.
gas wells?
What are you gonna do with it?
Recycle it.
To where?
We fracture additional wells with the water. We partner with other companies and we recycle all the water that we touch. It prevents it from being discharged. It prevents it from going into an evaporator. It's a very standard, common practice that the industry handles all of their water internally.
If it does leak, how far, given past failures, has it gone into the ground? Like, do you know how many acres, if one were to fail, how far would that seep into the groundwater's next to it? Do you know? Like how many miles or how many acres over, or?
If a tank leaks, we have another system of secondary containment around the tank
Okay.
to prevent it from entering any groundwater or entering any neighboring water streams. State requires 110% capacity of the largest tank.
So you're talking about like that 4-foot barrier or whatever that's around the property?
Correct. That system is approved by the state as well.
There's also an impound on the other end that drops down in there.
Yeah, on the
It's
north
not
side.
just the 4-foot wall, there's also an impound on.
My concern is like the folks that are like right there, right next to you, and worried about their animals and, the kids, their wells, the families.
Well, water was tested before.
Yep.
Yeah, and DEP has refused to come back and test it after that. DEP's actually told several to stop calling and asking.
How could they possibly deny you?
I don't know. Wish they were here.
Yeah.
Is there like a third party maybe?
Next step, you gotta find the right third parties.
Yeah.
Find one that tests for all the forever chemicals too. That's a big thing.
That coming in there, does that all get tested radioactive?
We do have a radioactive protection plan in place for the facility that is also approved by
That
the
get
state.
rejected if it is radioactive?
Yes, it's all defined in our plan.
Well, that's good to know it won't be radioactive then.
I don't want to work there because we didn't have one.
Yeah, there's been several shut down for said reasoning locally.
So you're a 24/7 operation?
Correct.
Okay. So I'm assuming all those lights that are on there, is that for security or just?
Probably both.
Safety and security.
Yeah. Understandable.
And what about property value loss? I'm already guessing, well, you can probably tell me 30, 40%. Who's gonna cover that? $600,000 for my
There's no
place.
guarantee of the property
Yeah,
loss.
you gonna buy it? You wanna buy it?
No.
Yeah, cause you don't live next to it, do you? Just like Brad Cummins at the county, right? Pass it through, who cares?
I wonder,
We'll be the ones that suffer.
can you work with them in the county maybe to get a tax assessed value determination so that you can get a lower tax rate per?
Well, township ain't gonna get no tax money. I can't even give the place away. $600,000 down the shitter. 10 years from now, can't even sell it.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna buy it. They're gonna be you? Be the township, county? Who? 15 years from now. That place, my place, should have been worth over $1 million the way things are going. Well over that. The hell am I gonna retire on? I'd like to see the damn tanks tore down, turn into a fucking baseball field for the kids or something.
Well, I know when they approached us, we had it in the paper, right, that this was gonna happen, and nobody came and voiced their opinion on any of it.
Paper doesn't even go online anymore.
Well, this has been a few years ago.
Yeah, they bought that property when I bought mine. Nobody
And-
knew it was getting bought.
And everything was out in the open. Anybody could have come,
Not
ask
to
questions.
any newcomers. They're just moving in.
And as far as the rats, if you're gonna have livestock, you're gonna have rats, I hate to tell you.
Well,
I've been a farmer all my life.
and so have I.
You need to get some
And-
poison out and get rid of them.
And it's kind of hard to put poison out when the other animals can get it and die from it.
Well, you gotta conceal it, so the rats can get to
So
it,
they
nothing
can
else.
drag it around. That's the problem.
Also have input on the rat, there has been a past rat infestation problem in the area due to the old milk station.
Milk station?
Yes.
Yeah, that was years ago.
I'm just saying it has had a past.
Well, we had livestock there for a year and a half before this facility was even there and didn't have a problem. A mouse here and there. That's what the cat's job is.
I personally have only seen like 3 mice in the whole barn, but that's just me.
Well, they were mainly in the round bale sitting out back. I've been there for years. Now it's gonna cost me 10 grand to get a system in place, to try and catch them all. So right now we're at 25 grand in expenses, plus the livestock loss of 10, 35, 40% property loss. We're getting close to 300,000. Now you want me to move? It's gonna cost you a lot more than that, because now to find a place like what I have, $1 million minimum. Then I gotta build fence, gotta fix up the barn, get it ready for the animals, be able to move back and forth in the next 6 months to get all that shit done. I don't think anybody would have given 2 craps if it would have been a freshwater pond like you guys told everybody when you first came in there. Freshwater, freshwater. That way we don't bitch. And you come in here and apply for other permits and all the way through this county and
We
the
didn't
state.
come here and apply for permits, they did it through DEP or the county.
Either way, you're pulling the wool over the community's eyes, the neighbors, to get what you want.
So what happened with that? Why did it go from freshwater to this brine water now?
Freshwater permit was never applied for.
Okay, I'll talk to the gentleman. I will get a copy of that for the next meeting then.
You can pull the meeting notes as well from the township meeting.
Yeah. You remember what?
Probably would have been March of 23 and then about that area.
Okay.
Public comment was open during that period. We had 6 months of county meetings during that period of time. PL 14 notices went out to townships, to counties, to the departments. We made all the proper requirements required by law.
I suppose my question is, are you willing to maybe, is there something you can do to help him? Or maybe is there anything you guys would be willing to do to help him to try to alleviate some of the inconveniences? I don't know if your corporation could, but maybe that would go a good way to hospitality towards the neighbor, to mend your guys' bridges. I don't know what your guys' fiscal budget looks like when it comes to just sudden expenditures like that, but is there anything you can do to help him to maybe make a better relationship between you two?
It's not just us,
Well, I know, but
it's everybody.
my concern is the immediate neighbors, like the farmer fellow that was in here, you, Della, you know, I'm worried about you guys a lot. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking for relational purposes, maybe there's something of a bridge mending that you guys could work out. I don't know if you're willing or if you could, but maybe.
Like I said, I got nothing to retire on now.
Big corporations and people don't usually mesh terribly well when the person that's being feeling slighted, you know, isn't getting help or feeling heard. So maybe
Don't believe me, I just found that out this past week.
You know, for Della, she just wants noise taken care of. I know for you, you've got to figure out with the water and your critters and house value. But maybe there's something.
Lot to think about. It was March 23, we were still moving in.
that's something that might just alleviate some of you guys' other concerns is, just me and him are site supervisors on night shift, he's day shift.
Yeah.
We go above and beyond as far as like sampling water, everything is sampled, and there's also monthly samples, weekly samples taken.
That's
As far
appreciated.
as contaminants in the ground, there's none.
Well, maybe, is it possible, is there something, like a small system that's not very expensive that you could maybe dig some sort of a trenching system between your guys' property, just down, some sort of barrier that goes between maybe his and yours? Maybe some sort of, just some sort of mesh, not mesh, but like plastic or, what they build pools with, the holding chemicals or whatnot?
My wife would rather see trees.
Oh, well, whatever, just something inexpensive maybe so you guys have some peace between you. And so your animals are safe, and if something, does happen, at least you have a second peace of mind for your home. Just anything, I think, would be good.
And what we're concerned about anything blowing on our property, that the animals get a hold of it, whether,
Yeah.
from what I understand, some people say sometimes it can foam up. And that's what worries me about getting over in the pasture.
Tall bamboo, maybe? Because that has deep roots.
I'd have to talk with
I know
somebody who
you.
does that, an arborist.
I know that you can't probably do anything right now. I get it, and I just appreciate that you're here listening to folks. But maybe you guys could figure something out to help him and maybe help Della. Our farm is a bit older, so we're not really impacted by it, but we are worried about them. So.
So what's the next move for this? You gonna have another meeting, or what are you gonna try to do?
Well, I think they have a lot to think about. So, they want to have another meeting with the neighbors, I guess, let you guys know, and they can let us know.
You guys can, if you ever wanted to, we've got plenty of space too. If you were too busy or your animals were getting upset by a lot of folks coming, you guys can always come to our place too.
No, we have plenty of space there,
Okay.
so. And we got 49 head right now, and probably gonna have another additional 40 here, depending what gets sold and what doesn't.
That's awesome.
I go down in the middle of the night right now to check on everybody a couple times during the night because, the kids are coming.
Oh, yeah.
This week. I go down there and just use the headlamp. That way nobody's waking up, I'm going to think, oh, it's feeding time, turn the lights on. And I walk down there and see the friggin' rats just run across their bodies. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
We never had that problem until after this project started. You guys started cleaning and moving everything, and they scattered. We've killed at least 40. Not to mention they're in the house. We've pretty much taken care of that problem right now. But they literally chewed through plastic totes, nested in clothing, crafts. We're going to be throwing out probably $10,000 to $15,000 of my wife's stuff.
Oh.
Damn rats actually chewed through a galvanized trash can to get the grain. Not plastic, galvanized. And with having to get a freezer, old dead freezer. It's an expense. All my life in farming, I don't think I've ever spent $3,000 in a lifetime for vet bills. And we topped that this past year.
Oh. Well, maybe they can figure out with their higher ups and help you and figure out something between you and be able to get, you know, so you have a little bit of peace of mind.
If I know you say a cap is not required, but is that something that to ease people's minds around the area, is that something that can be done just in case some, you know, wind does blow water out?
Even if it's like maybe plastic or inexpensive, could you bring that up to your folks? And so maybe he could sleep at night feeling a little bit better being next to you?
I mean, I know that Weiler has one. Or
It's been an option discussed.
Appreciate that. I'm sure it doesn't have to be something wildly expensive, but probably anything would go a long ways for him being right next door.
I'm just more worried about what could, like I said, people I've talked to, either they've worked in facilities, around facilities, it does create a foaming. And I don't want that blowing into the pasture.
Well, we gotta move on with our meeting.
Yeah, just let them contact you, or they know where I'm at.
Does anybody have anything else to add before we go?
Honestly, your day shift. I like the fact you're cleaning up, picking up garbage. But I don't know who it was, I don't know if he still works there. I got big ass dogs, you saw that, right?
Yep.
You're gonna pick up the garbage, that's fine. Their tails are wagging, that's great. They're just barking, they're doing their job.
Yeah.
But whoever the shit it was 3 weeks ago, picked up shrink wrap and walked over to the creek line and started shaking at them. The dogs went through, busted the damn gate latch on that cattle gate to get closer. No more of that crap.
Yeah, I got dogs, it's not cool to
Yeah, don't
mess around with
antagonize
dogs like
them.
that. Yeah, there's no reason to antagonize dogs. Or people for that matter.
That's all I got.
Thank you guys. Appreciate you at least listening to us. I know you didn't have to, so thank you. Hope everything goes okay. If there's anything we can do, just find us. You need to put your little critters in the pasture by us. If it's far enough away, we'll use it.
We still got further north than that's gonna get opened up this
I
year,
mean,
so.
if you need it, then we're here.
Yeah, I know you're doing slow, but you're doing it the right way.
Hi, back there.
Anybody else?
Anything to add?
So we're from Repsol. I'm Scott. I'm the stakeholder relations guy. I know a few of you have seen me around before. I've been around here for quite a while, but we have a similar facility going in on what is it on? Right on 14.
Right on 14. You should have gotten a notification package. I think it was in here, the dates. Then on February 12th, looks like.
So it's going on Seacrest?
Yep.
Down here?
Correct.
Okay.
The old precision yards that he built up on top.
Yep.
So you guys are doing the same thing down there?
Kind of. So
You
ours
sure
is.
you want to?
I'm not sure now. Yeah. So we picked an existing yard location. That
Okay.
way, it's kind of minimal investment. We don't need to keep it up long forever. It's not permanent. You guys all see our activity, right? Like when we're busy, when we slow down. I'm sure you notice we're slow right now. Not drilling many and fracking many new wells. So this we try to reuse as much water as possible. Instead of pulling it out of creeks, this one will help us bridge those gaps between our fracks. That way we're not sending it, to Ohio to get rid of, or Eureka down. Well, I don't think they're open anymore. So it helps us to just bridge those gaps and just increase that reuse of water. So what we have proposed in that permit package you received would be 3 tanks. They're 24,000 barrels apiece. 5 offload tanks. So just like our production tanks on our well pads, the operator pulls up, hooks his truck up, offloads into those. It's a familiar connection, all that. Then we can select which pump on a panel. It pumps it right to one selected tank. We only have one open at a time, just to cut down on any risks there. And then we have that secondary containment. It's like 140 mil thickness, 112-ish% of it's one tank. Then below the lowest orifice of all the other ones, and all that calculations are in the package if you really want to look through that. They're open top, so we have a company called ERM Group, so they're one of our environmental engineering firms. They take basically all of the test data. I mean, we've been around here for a while, through 14 the Towson Repsol now. They take all that data that we collect on all the produced water, aggregate it, so then they can tell exactly what VOCs, anything that could potentially go out of the tank. They run those calculations, and then this proposed tank is actually below the threshold, which requires a permit. So that permit submission should also be in that package that you received.
Okay. I think we just got notices, not the.
Okay. Yeah, I think they should have sent like a full. I think it was like 300 pages.
Not to us, unless it's on the thumb drive.
Yep.
Okay.
It should be in there. So that'll have actually the plans for the whole facility, all the air calculations, all the containment calculations. Like that's the full permit submission package that would go to the DEP. So it's wide open, like full transparency. You have everything.
Yeah, the 150 feet the other gentleman was talking about too. I went and notarized for our other land guy. He went to one of the neighbors, and I think it was within 500 feet of the facility. I mean, you had to get sign off from anyone.
Yeah, there's various.
Whatever that. I'm not. And don't quote me at being exact, but we did. We went to those neighbors and got that done. I think there was only one in that.
Yeah, it was Mr. Coyle. He's just below the property there. So his property boundary and house fell within that buffer. So like if you Google WMGR 123 permit, you can, one of the documents in the DEP's website lists all those required buffers off of streams, wetlands, houses, water wells, property lines, all that stuff, right on their website there. So we had environmental biologists go out, they scanned for wetlands, made sure there weren't any wetlands within the buffer, and then we had that, property line that we identified, so we did require a waiver from Mr. Coyle.
Yeah, I was surprised on the water testing. I don't know if that was you that mentioned that with the DEP. I mean, they're usually way more than willing to come back out if it's an oil and gas activity, but any of those standards too. I mean, we exceed those. Like most people in here that are anywhere remotely near a well. I mean, I think the DEP says we have to test out to 2,500 feet, and we can go like 4,000. So, and I deal with all the people that call in for water issues, and then we immediately have to notify the DEP immediately as soon as someone calls. And then, if it's within that 4,000 foot buffer, honestly, we go way farther than that. We don't usually question it if it's an issue. But
so you go out and gotta be so far away from a wetland, a natural spring, or anything like that. How far is that again?
That I couldn't tell you exactly.
Yeah, it's in the permit document guidance on DEP's website for that type of.
Yeah, they're usually pretty particular about it, because I do a lot of surface water lines, which we only will run fresh water in currently, but, even the engineering companies that come out and look at it, sometimes, I mean, you or I would walk through a field, I often go across farmers' fields where they've been farming it for 50 years, and, these engineering groups pick out a plant, so it's usually pretty stringent. So I don't know what the actual parameters are, but, it seems to be, they side on, on the side of caution. I'm not sure what those set distances are, but it's got to be, I'm pretty sure it's within 500 foot of a residence as far as this facility.
Yeah, it might even be less. I'd have to.
300.
Is it 300?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Like I said,
we did it.
Yeah.
We're required to do the same things that you're applying for. We're gonna have the same permits, or you're gonna have the same permit that we have.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the only difference is the tanks might be a little bit smaller. Ours are about 72 2-foot diameter. They're 36 feet high. So we've actually used them a few times. Well, actually, over the years, a whole bunch. Recently out towards Blossburg, and every time they're erected, we have to buy all new bolts. So we buy truckloads of bolts. So that's just one part of ensuring that the tanks have mechanical integrity. And then they are designed by a company called Comtech, so they're out of Pittsburgh. The plans for the tanks all have are professional.
As far as our operations go too, we have a huge vested interest. Some years we'll have a $500 million budget that just gets spent in Bradford, Susquehanna, and Tioga County. So I'm the guy that's generally going out. I would be coming to you, addressing any issues or something like that or concerns. Obviously, got to look at everything. But we're committed to the area, so we came in and I was kind of like, holy shit, where's this going?
You picked a good night
Well,
to
I've
come.
never had this many people here, not even when it's voting time.
We're pretty infiltrated in the community. These guys live down here. I live up in Addison, New York, but I've been here for 13 years. I worked for Corning Natural Gas for 10 years before that. So, I do a ton of stuff at the school with the FFA.
Yeah, you went to Cargill with us.
Yeah, that was a great. Any of those tours, it's funny, we'll sponsor them, all like pushing kids out of the way, asking questions. Yeah, but that one, so in Cargill in New York State, it's a salt plant.
Okay.
So Tom called me and asked me to chaperone that. So I'm like, sure. I get there, as soon as I got out, I could see.
You didn't know it was a butcher
No.
facility?
not that stuff, totally
Well,
but it was a little different than what I was anticipating, let's put it that way.
Less salt?
Yeah, so.
They don't let us do that anymore. They don't have tours down there.
Oh, no?
No, I think
I
they're
can't
afraid
imagine
people
why.
will take pictures and all that stuff probably.
Yeah, those walkways, we were 10 feet above that, it was pretty, I thought you looked familiar.
Drill any new wells?
What's that?
Are you gonna drill any new wells?
Well, we're not too many this year. Once we got purchased by Repsol, it's a global company now, so we kind of fight for funding. So, but this year we're doing the broadleaf.
Just
In
Troy. So
4 new wells in Troy.
we're running quite a bit of surface water line with fresh water to refill a lot of our freshwater surface ponds.
Yeah,
Because that's highly regulated by the Susquehanna River Basin Authority. We pay and put in the equipment, and they tell us when we can pull water out or not based on that equipment. So, and a lot of our stuff's underground infrastructure now. But a lot of these facilities too, it cuts down on that just constant, truck traffic for far distances. That stuff's moving somewhere all the time. It's unfortunate sometimes where they end up.
So what we did to select this location, so we have it's called an LRP. It gives us all our wells for the next 24 years-ish. So I went through that and took every well and what county it lands in. Read the most wells, made a heat map out of it, and tried to pick the closest location to that activity. And with 14 here and 414, so that kind of touches our stuff out western PA. We bought the Rockdale, stuff from Grover over to Liberty. We're still trying to kind of figure that area out, but we have a lot of plans for there. Troy area, our state lands area, so outside of Blossburg there. So we tried to, find the location where we're not going to pick, Williamsport, because, it's going to put all our truck traffic. So our truck traffic's here, right? Our water trucks run 414 every day. So we try to be the least impactful location of our operations.
Honestly, liability-wise too, you send that stuff to recycling and it's very expensive, and the oil and gas industry is treated a little different than most industries. when does your liability actually cease to exist? So we'd rather reuse as much of that as we can. So we'll mix quite a large percentage. I think even sometimes up to 50% on the next frack and just shoot it back down the next hole. So you're using less fresh water and you're not, limiting yourself as exposure, and we're recycling it to what degree, you'd like to be comfortable that what's going on and it's getting interjected back into, streams, creeks, whatever. So obviously you try to reuse as much as that as you can, and there's a market for it, as where other companies are doing that as well, and trying to put that back into use rather than trying to recycle it, and to what level and to where.
Wow.
Not trying to justify it, I'm just kind of, I'm just giving you an overview of how the kind of, what the thought process is behind it.
He's trying to justify it.
Okay.
Okay.
You're right, they're gonna be good meeting minutes, right? Get all that?
You got all that?
It's gonna be a good video.
Yeah, the card. What's up? You got another card for that?
Okay, who's next?
Liquid fields completed.
Did Michelle bring any money or just the duplicates?
The duplicates, and I also wanted to let you know I'm not running again this year, so. My full-time job has become more than full-time, so
We gotta find a tax record. Anybody interested in it?
I don't know.
I didn't realize that you were up for
Is that a 6-year term or 4?
4.
4.
So, yeah, I'm finishing this year. But,
Well, we're gonna have to pay our taxes after that, then.
sure,
Tax collector.
sure. Good luck with it.
So do we, well, how do you put it in the paper? There's no paper. Everything, that's gonna be online.
Put it online.
Your local little Canton paper isn't still?
Well, maybe.
Going out the end
Going
of.
out.
I was wondering, I don't see that people
It's
that I
gotta
used to
be-
see anymore when I'm out.
It's not gonna be
doing
hard
it.
copy, it's gonna be online.
Oh, okay.
Daily review will be going through my video, so.
I'm sorry?
I said daily review will be going through my video probably, so it'll probably get out there on.
Yeah, I guess just for your knowledge too, the state, they do post all these permits, it's called the PA Bulletin. You're still on this, right?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot, sorry, never mind.
We came back to you.
Oh, you're good, you're good.
Top.
So the
Sorry.
PA bulletin has all
Yeah,
the permits.
all the permits, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I heard the newspaper and everything like that.
Isn't there outside agencies that collect taxes?
Well, there's gotta be somebody that's gonna be interested to do something.
Well, the schools are the school taxes, but we gotta do the county and.
Yeah, but didn't you used to do the school taxes too?
That was the first year that I took over for Brenda.
But you used to do it, right? The tax collector used to collect all the school taxes.
Yes,
And
but
now the
for
school.
Canton, it doesn't anymore.
Right, that's what I thought.
Yeah, they'll just do the county and township.
I wanna say Ward Township doesn't have a tax collector anymore, the county
The
does.
county does, but Bradford County does not collect any taxes. And I know that I got a call, a little over a month ago from somebody that had, been approached by Troy Township because Troy's township tax collector quit this year with a week's notice.
That was
So,
nice.
They were looking for someone, so if anybody's interested, you hear from anybody is interested, I can walk them through what they would need to do this year to get ready for next year.
Okay.
And what it entails. Because they'll have to take a 2-day class to be qualified. So,
Tax collector, less headache than supervisor?
it would be before, so that they know what they're getting into.
And plus you're gonna have to have an office, right?
Sorta. Okay.
Well, thanks for the good news, Michelle.
You're welcome. Plus, you got your bill this morning.
Yeah, I know. Shouldn't have never went to the mailbox.
Oh boy. Okay.
So are we on, ready for Cam to report, are we?
Well, before that, I did get notice of the liquid fuels funds that are going to come in.
We didn't get them yet.
What's that?
You haven't got them yet.
They probably will be deposited today.
Oh,
But, $157,855.12 paid on March 3rd. I did not look.
the turn back come with it?
Yep, 26,520. So that is all.
Okay.
So we have a little bit of funds to play with. DEC, reports were due, and then the PUC report, with the budget
Okay.
and, expending report needed to be done, and that's completed. So, I guess it's Cant's turn.
Okay. We've just been cindering and cutting brush up on Ayers Road and getting equipment ready for spring. We're still waiting on the oil pump. We got the barrel oil, but still waiting on the pump, so we haven't been able to change oil yet, but just greasing and washing
Where's the
equipment.
oil pump come from?
Reline or Central Oil?
Central
Where
Oil,
you, where
yeah.
you get the oil?
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
There wasn't one on the other barrel, or it quit, or?
Well, I don't think that
We're
they.
getting engine oil now.
Oh, okay.
We have 2 hydraulic oils, but once the JCB hydraulic oil's out, I guess that was just for warranty stuff.
Yeah.
The reason
I think
we
so.
were using that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we'll be able to get rid of one pump, I think, anyway.
And I don't think that they really replaced them after, because one of those barrels burned up. And with everything new, because this is the first year that you guys ordered a barrel from Central Oil since the fire.
What do you have, on your paper there?
What we want for tonnage for gravel and roads and stabilizer.
So, because we're putting out bids for, so how much tonnage of gravel?
So we figured roughly 4,800 ton. That's for Sunset, Breeze, Sterling, and Rhodes. Roughly 4 miles
Okay.
of road.
What do you guys have
What
left
do you have
out
in
here
stock
in
now?
I don't know what's in that pile. 2,500 ton.
I want to say that's probably what was left over on last year's contract that we had before hauling was done.
I want to say 2,000, 2,500. Because we used a few hundred ton doing the berms on West Union.
And those are the only roads that you're thinking to gravel?
Yep. And then we'll need a couple hundred ton again to finish the other side of West Union, the berms.
So you still want to bid 5,000 ton?
Yeah.
Okay.
Has he called around for pricing? Is it 2A or 2RC that he wants?
I think 2A.
Okay. And he talked to DeCristo Hallbaker to have an idea of how much everything, no. Because stockpiling, usually you do, I mean, Bob's always not to, but I mean, 10,000 tons before just to have, and I mean, pretty much all roadways.
I'm sure we could find use for more than 5,000 ton.
Right, and then if you don't use it, then stockpiling it for next year.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me, what's the sense of putting a stockpile out there when you could go there and get it and haul it right, have the hauler haul it right to the roads when you need it? I said, I don't know, we had to take it, because that's what we bid.
Right.
That's why we put it in the pile.
Well, if you get the truck, if you can get the trucks the day you want them.
Right. Another thing, Frank asked me about this certification every load. He says sometimes it can take 3 to 4 minutes a load just to get it done. He said his suggestion would be doing it at the end of each day instead of doing every
If
load.
they can guarantee giving you the certificates, that's what we got in trouble before, because they were guaranteed it was certified material and it was not, because it did not pass inspection.
Yeah, but if it was at the end of the day, it's all going to be certified that day.
Correct, but
it's costing us more money.
They can take it out of a different pile.
Happens to me all the time.
Really? Well, I'm just saying, that's what he said. It's costing us
I know, he
extra
said
money.
that, he said that before, and I said, and we went through a lawsuit because they did not have the
No, we went through the lawsuit because he lied to us about it.
because
Then you
material was not certified and there was no proof. So getting it every load made sure that that was certified.
You could go every 5 or 10 loads.
Well, wouldn't you think the driver would know what pile it's coming out of?
Should know.
I'm all for trying to figure it out, but
He was gonna be here, but
When-
he's there on vacation.
when I think that was one of the stipulations when we accepted the bid was to make sure that that material was certified. And to have the certificates with every load to protect us again. And Frank said that to me and I'm like, and we just settled because we didn't have it, so you can sit there for 3 months. Okay, 2A.
So, yeah, 2A.
And then what, 750 for cold patch and what?
Well, so we
500?
have like 100 ton of cold patch out there, and then we have like 200 ton of 1B to make cold patch.
So how much we make last year? Was it 500 or 1,000?
Well, I think we backed it down to 750.
750? I know we made 1,000 stabilized.
Okay.
And
you
then-
used just about all of it.
Yeah, there's not even a lower bucket out there.
Well, have you been down our road?
Yeah.
lately? Bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I blame the state for that because they didn't come and tar and chip it when they were supposed to. It's been
We-
5 years.
I was on your road today, what do you mean?
It's all spidered out, isn't it? All the way up through.
Well, that was that way last year, Mark.
I know, but they were supposed to have been there and
Well-
tarred and chipped it.
That was probably, just had a hard winter, they would done it again. So I'm gonna call and see about getting that done this year.
But they got to because this is
Yeah.
our last year of the agility program. We need to put-
We made 1,000 stabilized.
Yes, we did.
Stipulations in there.
They
next
used a
time.
whole bunch on New
Sealy,
Road.
yeah, Brett
Just
said
like
Sealy,
it topped the
too.
whole road
Yeah.
with it.
Yep.
Yeah, you topped the whole road, New Road, with stabilized, didn't you? Well, you weren't here then.
Yeah, I wasn't here. I don't really know what they did.
We would have more cold patches, but that Franklin Township from Susquehanna County is actually going to bring it back.
Okay.
So that's another, what, 22, 25 tons possibly.
Mm-hmm.
That
I mean, they had some made for sales, you're gonna bring it, swap back to us
yes,
okay, instead of paying for it.
correct.
Okay.
So tonnage wise, should we go 5,000 or 5,500 for the 2A?
5,500. You enough with that?
They'll have to be if that's all we have, right?
Well, with the 2,000 that's out there, then that would be 7,500. So that should,
Yes.
because I would think that you would want to do more than 4 miles. Because I would think that there would be a couple spots and everything that needs to be
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
worked on.
Yep.
Cinders for McClure, do they have the
Yeah,
black?
he called and they had Black State approved.
Okay.
He said they had lots of them.
So how many think we need? How many you got left out
We've
there?
used a lot. I don't
How
know.
many did we get last year?
2,000.
1,000?
2,500?
Yeah, I was gonna say we probably used all 2,000 ton.
Sounds good, 2,500.
Well, because you started digging in on the side. So fuel and then trucking would be the week after of where the material's coming from. So 5,500 plus or minus tons of 2A, 2,500 plus or minus tons for cinders, and then we usually do 5,000 gallons of the fuel, but we never
get a bid.
usually get bids.
Do we have to bid it?
Yeah.
Yes. But we've advertised twice, and if we don't get any bids, then we can
Do
still
what we
take
want.
what we need. And then the trucking will need. And put it in the daily review.
Get to push the can.
So for stabilizer, did you, we
Um,
wanted roughly 1,250 ton of that.
Of stabilized.
Yeah. Yeah, Brett really liked what it did up on Glory Barn, and it's still staying nice.
It is good stuff.
So we want to do some of Bragg down over the steep part where it kind of leans off real hard to
That
the right.
Festus decided to fix and
Yeah.
did not fix.
Yeah, so we want to fix quite a bit of that. Get it kind of leaning the right way towards the ditch, and
I didn't get on that.
Not over the
road.
bank?
Yeah.
I didn't get on that road yet. Is it still holding that on Goy Barn?
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Well, Ben Mullen called me and said that they were really happy with that gravel.
So I'd like to have it down past the bar.
Yeah, he wanted the whole road done when he talked to us.
Well, they put it, you guys, well, Bob and Cale put it where we come up out of where the silage pile is, there onto the road.
Yep.
They put some there, and I don't know how many years ago, and it hasn't moved a bit.
Well, Glory Barn and that part of Bragg is conservation. And here are, well, I guess Bragg is out of it. So I guess you can do whatever you want to.
Okay.
But Glory Barn is still within conservation guidelines,
Okay.
which I'll give you a copy of this.
Okay.
Preston, Barnes Hill, and Williams Hollow
Okay.
are the ones. So, I know Brett is certified, you're certified. I'll look in to see for conservation to get you certified.
Okay.
So
We'll be
staff
around
that.
this area this year. They move it around.
Williamsport's close. If they have it in Williamsport.
I don't know.
At one time that they had.
They move it around.
Right.
Susquehanna had one 2 years ago,
Okay.
so it might be back there again this year.
Susquehanna's not far. It's a nice ride.
Yeah.
It's everything, isn't it?
Oh, to put Bragg Hill or that section back into, might want to look into that.
Okay.
I've had a lot of compliments on her. Good job you guys are doing.
Cool.
I haven't had any complaints.
Well, that's a good thing.
Now's when you go for that paycheck.
And Taylor Road, they're doing heavy hauling into the compressor station, so might want to keep an eye on Taylor Road.
Okay.
I did have an update.
They started yet?
They have. So.
Okay.
Okay. No.
You got anything else?
Nope.
Okay, but so you want 1,250 of stabilized gravel.
Mhm.
But they usually do the mix of the DFA 1B and the oil. So once the material gets in, then whoever on CoStars can make that.
Okay.
So how much of cold patch did he say?
Not really, because we were trying to figure out how much we already had out there plus 1B. I think he said roughly 200 ton
Okay.
of just 1B we have to make it.
You know, do we put something else with that 1B?
ASHTO, fines. ASHTO number 8.
Anti-skid, and we put in it?
Yes, same thing. ASHTO's anti-skid.
None of that.
So how much?
No,
do we
there's
get?
none of that, just 1B.
So how much of that did we do last year?
I want to say it was $750
I think that
because
sounds.
they wanted 1,000 ton and we bid it out. Repsol was the only one that put the bid in, but then they were including trucking instead of making it here on site. Because there was a little bit of a mix-up between what I told Darren and what Bob told Darren. So he went and did what Bob said, and that was trucking it in from wherever they were going to make it, not making it here.
Okay.
So the bid was 100,000 something. It was bad.
That's who did it. Who was that guy that was here? That was Midland, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
You here again?
He was
Yeah,
here.
he was here
One day when I stopped down to see the guys.
month or
You
so
know,
ago.
Bob didn't like him.
No, I know.
And,
Fuller.
yeah, he wanted to know what he
Well,
changed.
that's Fuller's son.
Oh.
No, he was here. Mike was here.
Was Mike?
Yeah, I think it was
He wanted-
both of them.
both
right?
of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Want to know what the chances of doing business with us again? And I said, well, sometimes we bid stuff out, but
Well,
I said,
no.
we're happy.
That's why I want to bid it. So they have to
Stick to what they say.
stick to what they say.
Right.
What
And
we
I
say.
said, well, we've been happy with where we've been, so.
And Marty Murphy from Soup Co. called and gave him what oil, so he has an idea of what to use.
Another question.
So I don't know if you did 750 last year. I mean, we have to shim McMurray up quite a bit and Sealy. I mean, there's quite a few spots. I'm sure we could use it.
Well, Bob had it all ready last year, remember?
No,
Yeah,
Brett did.
or Brett.
Because Bob
And they-
wasn't working.
Oh, that's right.
And they never came to chip
They
it.
never came.
No. They
What
were, they were over in the valley.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, this agility thing, we need to
Yeah.
have a stipulation that, because 5 years ago or 6 years ago, they did it the first year we signed it. So it was a 3-year deal. So the end of the 3 years, we signed another 3 years, and now this is the 6th year.
Right.
So it's been 5 years with nothing, and that road gets a lot of traffic. Are we gonna do any tarring and chipping of our own?
Well, that was the next. So what about 500 tons of coal patch?
Yeah, that should work because like I roughly already 100 ton out there.
Okay.
Yeah, we should do,
What do we?
Bragg, Alma Mountain, because if we do Alma Mountain, Cowbell and Slater's gone.
Right.
If we do Elm Mountain, who wants what?
Cowbell Cemetery and Sister gone.
Yeah, Bragg. I don't know.
There's a lot of water coming down Graham Road
I know, and, well,
because they tore that rock out behind Dave Black's that we put in.
Who
Because
tore it
now-
out?
Hirschbergers, because it's now pasture.
Oh. They took the rock out of that one we dished all the way down around there, back of the buildings.
now, is there any chance of piping it across the road? Up there where the rock was? Is there a ditch on the other side where we could put a pipe across?
And then they go down on
I
Crawford.
don't know what he means. I'm gonna say no.
I don't think so.
No?
No, because
Do
I
you
want to
go
say
in
Greg
front?
Dibble. What's that? I'm sorry.
Where do you mean exactly of putting pipe in?
Up where that rock was?
Between
Between Benson and
Benson.
yes.
there's no ditch going down to Bragg on that side, except for all the way on the back side of Hirschberger's property.
But they tore all that rock out.
I didn't realize that.
They
Water's
took-
still flowing through there pretty heavily.
Well, there was a lot of water coming up.
So, was it on the right of way?
Yeah.
So something's messed up in there.
So where that's coming from is, I want to call it the RV park The property where they bring in their RVs.
Chesterfield?
No.
No, on Graham Road.
The very first driveway on the right.
Going up to,
Coming off of Bragg, going up Graham.
Try
something? It's a family property. They bring in their RVs for holidays and have holiday stuff up there.
Isn't, oh my God.
I didn't know about that.
Palmer's pad. Isn't there well pad up there?
Bobby Palmer?
No, that's down the
too
road.
far out.
So right when you get on Graham Road,
Right.
there's a driveway with a gate that
Yeah.
goes way up onto the hill.
Okay.
So there's ditches right where that driveway's at, and they're filling in so much that the water's coming off of that hill and coming down Graham Road.
Okay.
So that's where that needs to be fixed.
Okay.
And then down by Katana's is real bad.
And that's mostly their water coming from their hill down their driveway.
That and overflowing from their sluice, as it gets to their sluice pipe, it overflows there and comes across.
So their sluice needs to be cleaned out.
I don't think it's,
Probably froze right now.
well, no, this is a constant, if it rains real heavy, it
There's
overflows
always
there.
water over that, and
It goes down into the
they
sewer.
they tried to talk to them about doing their driveway, and they never did anything with their driveway.
Yeah, there's a lot from there, but it's also the water coming down from Graham's side there, and it just overflows that sluice pipe and goes down into Emma's property there. Blazers. It's real bad for them. They're constantly having to dig stone out of their yard and overfills the sewer system there.
So that needs to all be fixed and addressed before we do anything with tar and chipping on Bragg. And what about the end on Grover Road side? To tar and chip coming into Burgess. Because they're complaining that the dust oil that we put on does not hold. So if we're gonna do
You
something.
mean the curve there by Smith?
Yeah, sorry, Bob and Rita.
Yeah.
She was a Burgess.
Well, that'd be a good place to try to stabilize. On that curve.
You know where we're talking, right?
On Bragg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sharp
Towards
curve.
the
The house,
Grover
the house is
Road.
kind of close to the road.
Okay, yeah, I know where you mean.
Substation and then
Yeah.
Grover Road.
We could try that, we could try to put some stabilizers down there.
Okay,
No dust to that.
yeah.
Because they were wanting something done.
They do every year. They
Well,
call me and want to know. But
mean-
you can't work, you gotta make sure you get a whole load of oil before you go out and put it down. I
Yeah.
tell them, you gotta be patient.
Right.
And when it gets real dry, you can't work the roads.
O'Gara's should be calling soon.
Oh, probably.
I tell them,
Sorry?
just wait till it
That's no
rains, you won't need
problem.
any oil.
Mm-hmm.
So back to tar and chipping, that if we do this, it would be Bragg, Alba Mountain, and then Alba Borough on top of that. But they can piggyback on whatever we're doing. And McMurray, Graham.
That's gonna be done by the state.
Agility.
Hopefully. Well, they'll be coming around this year, wanting us to sign another one.
Well, we don't have to.
No.
Are you gonna be okay to mow this year?
I don't know, probably not.
I plan on mowing. Bus inspection is July 8th, so I'm gonna be pretty busy getting all the buses ready. Usually it's the end of July. They changed it.
So what other roadways to think about tar and chipping?
How long is Bragg Road?
I have that. I don't have it with me.
It's not a mile, is it? It's not quite a mile, is it? Out to, from Bragg back to the.
I know
154.
Kehoe, clocked it.
All
Last
Bragg
year.
is more than a mile.
Right.
No, I mean, the
But
part
it would
we,
be only be
part we
from-
tar and chip.
Oh, okay.
Cause it would be from 154 just past Chesterfield usually, right?
Yep, all the way out to Bragg's, the old Bragg house. I don't know who lives there now.
Oh, so that's the whole end,
Yeah,
or the whole,
you know, we always do White Road up to the top of the hill. And we could do part of Graham.
but McMurray and Graham is supposed to be on agility.
No, McMurray and
No.
Sealy.
Just McMurray and Sealy.
And that includes on the other side of 14 too, right? That little stretch of road.
Yes. Bragg, White, Graham would be a good grouping because they're right there. I guess Alba Mountain, not too far away.
Nothing else in that area, is there?
No. What about the bottom of Dory Barn? We used to do that a little.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you get anything figured out on that storm drain at the bottom of Dory Barn? The grate?
Mm-mm. That's the state's, right?
I don't know, I'll have to find out.
I'm pretty.
I have to message with Shane Bull
Okay,
about it, but I never heard nothing back from him.
gotcha.
Well, don't let on you don't know, because if you call him and he'll say it's ours.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Good strategy.
No, he wouldn't do something.
He'll say, isn't that yours? That's your farm drain.
You folks mind if we step out? I'm gonna leave you some cards though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So very
Don't
much.
call you, right?
Don't call me. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you later.
See ya.
Take care. See you, Tyrell.
Thank you.
Yep.
The other stuff I was Thank you.
See you later. See you. Thanks.
Thank you so very much. Okay. So right now, for the
Turn the heat
bids,
back on.
Let it cool down a little bit first.
just the 2A, fuel, cinders, and then the trucking for the next week. So we know where the 2As are coming from. And then call around and get pricing for the DSA, the 1Bs, the anti-skid,
okay.
to make the coal patch and stabilized gravel.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then usually the oils on co-stars.
I'll have Cato come in, I'll ride with him around on these roads. Get a bid ready.
Who's this now?
Kehoe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he did that, we did that
I
last
know you
year,
did it.
so.
Just maybe have it right, just what you got wrote down.
That's that.
Okay.
So anything else?
Nope.
Anything else you wanna know?
I guess not.
Okay. Okay. So no update from Caldwell, and we deciding to do anything for Minnequa Springs?
You know, I drove by there the other day and it looked like one of the picnic tables was about falling apart. There was somebody that took one and set it in there's two underneath those.
Yeah.
And they've got one shoved in under there. It looks like it's falling apart. I was gonna go back when I went home from town, and I was gonna go back and look at it, and I forgot about it.
Okay.
Yeah, we should do something. I don't know, I didn't know what we decided. Do we get
We
some,
didn't decide really.
get some
We didn't
benches
decide.
made, or?
Just talked about different things.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we need to do something.
Yeah.
In memory of Bob.
We can do something in memory of Jasper too,
Yeah.
because he was 41 years of secretary at least, and then I think one more term of supervisor after that.
Don't go with the cheapest bench you can get just just saying, because we did that with some stuff. I mean, it was expensive. We did it with some stuff at work, and within 2 years, you can't sit on them.
What was the material made of?
It's the composite stuff.
Composite?
Oh, really?
Hmm. But it's falling apart being out in the weather. So unless you're gonna take it in during the winter.
No, we won't do that.
I don't know what they're made of at Cedar Ridge, but I mean, they're the concrete sides and
Right.
the
Yeah.
whatever. And I have not done anything or had to have anything done, and I've worked there going on 8 years now.
Yeah.
And
This is 2 winters, and it's.
Yeah, so, I mean,
Composites can't hold up.
Yeah.
I don't
So,
know.
Find out what they got.
Right. But, I mean, they're awesome. They look not worn at all. So we'll still think on that. I will ask the management office,
Where they got 'em?
where they got them, and see what we can. And Admo was here. Sorry. Salt contract, we did 250 tons for next year.
Yeah, that's what we decided.
So that's already ordered.
Okay.
We can do the 140% over, so.
Okay.
I think right now we have 100 tons left to meet the 140%, which American Rock Salt will honor. But if we need more than that, then they gave us a list of other places to contact.
Okay.
Because they will not fulfill anything over 140%.
Gotcha.
Okay. I think you guys have enough out there for right now.
Yeah, I mean,
They're slow delivering.
Yeah, it's taken a while, but I mean, we can fit another load in there, but it's pretty well full right now.
Okay.
So.
We'll wait until Brett gets back and see if he wants a load for.
Yeah,
that's right. He's gone away, isn't he?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yep. Yep. He'll be gone this whole week.
Supposed to come back Wednesday.
No, he's.
I think he's leaving down there Wednesday. So.
He's gonna be off all this
Yeah.
week. Or however.
So you're the boss this week?
I guess so. Yeah.
Nobody else around, right?
No. No.
Where'd he go to watch the race? NASCAR?
No, he didn't go to the race.
Oh, he didn't go to the
No,
race.
just Daytona.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he'll be back Monday the 10th, right?
Yep.
Okay. So we'll ask, because it's probably gonna be a week and a half before a load can come anyway, so.
Okay.
So did the compliance report for Northern Tier. And then insurance, EMC insurance.
Who's the EMC, is it?
Kilmer, EMC.
Was that Kilmer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Archie. I think they did things 3 or 4% for the volume.
What did I do with it?
Right there. That's what it is.
Oh.
It's small. There's not anything that we need to add or subtract on it, is there?
Is
About the same, isn't it?
It's all the same as last year, right?
Right.
Well, we didn't build anything.
We didn't build anything. And equipment wise, we didn't get.
You took the truck off, right? The Volvo?
Yep. Should have. Yes, we have the tow trailer, the Western, and the 2 Western Stars and the 4 600.
We could take Kale off, probably.
Right, and Cam is on there, this just not on this listing.
Bob.
Kale will stay on, cause he's still gonna help out every once in a while, cause right, if something happens right now, he's plowing snow.
Yeah, better.
So, I did give the insurance your information, so just ask me. You're legal, I promise. And then we don't have any other equipment, right? The wheel
You
loader.
got that?
The wheel loader's not 2018. That's
Yeah, it
a
is.
20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it a used one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wasn't used much.
You don't have the mower on you, do you? Road mower? Got the mower head, but that's for brush.
They're not Monroe files. They're something different. Apparently, they gave me 3 copies and I printed 3 copies. I wasn't paying attention. So, did the questionnaire.
You did the questionnaire?
I did. So there's not anything that we need to change for the insurance, right?
No.
Okay. So. To renew, make sure Cam is legal. And then apparently I threw a PA1 call into Tizzy.
Yeah, she called me. I said, I didn't know what she was talking about.
And I updated the information instead of just putting Canton Township. I put the legal, the EIN numbers, Canton Township Board of Supervisors, and that just threw them in a tizzy because the contract is just with Canton Township. So we need to sign a new contract.
I argued with them there that we don't even need to. She said, oh yeah, you gotta be a member. And I said, we don't have anything, we have nothing.
Just switch plates.
Yeah, and she said, well, you could get fined. I said, well, we haven't yet.
So you want to sign right there?
Oh, we forgot. Betty, you got anything you want to say?
Amen.
Time to go home, right?
Right.
I want to know if you'd sign my petition when you leave. I'm taking it down tomorrow. I'm getting it over with. I'm going to see Dad and then
Where is he?
Troy still.
Still Troy?
Yeah. He's, I don't know. I didn't think he'd come home, but he's throwing a fit. Maybe at the end of the week.
By what? That where you sign?
Yes.
I gave you the fire stuff last time, I think.
You did. I can finish filling that out. There's another. Here. Go back legal. COG do anything with the code inspections?
I'm quite sure we renewed it.
You renewed it?
Yeah.
Your mom should have just kept teaching. She's down there almost every day.
I know, she is. I guess she's gonna sub all this week too.
Okay. Because I put it on there because you asked for it, so I didn't know
I
if you
don't
were.
think she wants to, but she has a hard time saying
Was there
no.
anything different?
No, stayed the same.
So that Baldwin is no longer with.
He's no longer with us.
But Frank.
They hired a guy to cover Lycoming and Frank's covering Bradford.
Right.
Baldwin, I don't know, I guess I don't know what you're talking about.
He was one of the inspectors, Mike Baldwin.
Okay.
And he
Justin Morgan.
took over Justin Morgan's job.
Mike Baldwin. Baldwin's no longer.
Moved west, went somewhere out west.
So Justin Morgan doesn't do it anymore?
No, he's done it for a while.
No, he hasn't done it for a while. Couple of years, I think.
Yeah, at least that.
Yeah, I guess I must have been sleeping.
I don't have anything else.
That's it?
Is that enough?
Yep. Make the motion to close the meeting.
Second.
Agreed.